All right, here we go. One of my favorite people's back on Vlad TV, Michael Jai White.
Good to be back, brother.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah. Well, lots to talk about today. But just yesterday, A$AP Rocky was found not guilty on 2 gun charges.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, something I was not expecting.
Well, I'm very happy about that.
Right. I'm happy as well.
Yeah, very, very
but I'm also shocked.
Well, not really.
No?
Okay. No. I it's funny because, I think about that, I kind of call it I ain't got no weapon defense, basically, which is interesting because remember, a good friend of ours, I kind of suggested that same approach. You remember?
Yeah.
You're in your car coming from the comedy joint?
Deal Hughley.
I didn't want to say nothing.
No,
but,
we said my last interview. Okay. I think I even brought it up.
Oh, you brought it up to him?
Exactly. Yeah. So it is what it is.
But
he got caught. Deal Hughley back in the day got caught with a gun at the airport. This was, I think, before 9/11.
No. Oh, wait, it might have been before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Before the law started going crazy and
No. This was definitely after 9/11.
It was after 9/11.
Yeah, because
he didn't do any jail time over it. So
the reason why
it was basically a slap on the wrist. Yeah.
The reason why I know is
you were there.
No, it was because there was a cop told me. A New York cop told me, D.L. Hughley, we had him here and whatever, and told me all about the weapon thing. And I was like, wow, he's just telling DL's business, just like I am right now. I didn't want to say, but I was like, I've been around DL. I did a show, but I've always forgot to mention that. Hey, man, this weapon charge they had you up, they had you kind of like at bay with, but to be serious about it, there's one of the things I've shared. I won't say why I know and how many times that this has come up in the past, but one of the things I said, but there's a lot of people who want to protect themselves. They might carry a gun just for protection. That whole idea of I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. Mm-hmm. Well, I understand that. And I always encourage people to go get legal, go get your CCW, get your permit, so you can protect yourself. Because I think as a man, that's one of our first priorities. But if you are going to decide to do that, and you carrying that thing, in your car or whatever, and there might be an altercation where you got to chill something out, and then the cops come or whatever, I said, always have a replica. Have a replica gun. So if things get chilled out, you throw your real gun in the car somewhere and grab your replica and say, this is what I had, officer. This is what because if you didn't have to shoot it or whatever, if it's a cap gun or whatever, and say, no, this is a non-lethal weapon, they will stop looking. They will look at that and go, oh, okay, you make my job easy. It was this, let's let this go. Well, meanwhile, the real burner is somewhere else.
All right, because A$AP Rocky's defense was this was a prop gun.
Mm-hmm. I ain't got no weapon defense yet.
By the way, do prop guns actually eject shells?
Hell yeah, people have been killed by prop guns. Okay. By blanks.
Aha.
You can be killed by a blank if it's too close. There's fire that shoots out that far.
Okay.
From a blank gun.
Well, right, because they had the video of the alleged shooting. They had audio of shots going off.
Right.
And they also had a victim that took the stand.
Yeah, but where was the wounds? Where was the...
He claimed his knuckles were grazed. Yeah, that seemed like bullshit.
Yeah.
That part seemed like bullshit. In fact, the cops went to the scene and couldn't find any shell casings, but then A$AP Relly, the victim, went back to the scene the next day and miraculously found some shell casings and turned them into police. But what's funny is that I guess around that time, he went to a gun range and used the same caliber gun and would have the casings from the shooting range that he could potentially just grab. And say,
I'm sorry, without wounds and hard evidence, it's like, come on now.
He grazed, someone shot at you multiple times and your knuckle was grazed.
Yeah,
your knuckles were grazed. Really?
Yeah, but I tend to try to look on the bright side of stuff, and I think there's a big ass bright side, and I just love this young man, and his relationship, and how they're showing black love on such a magnitude. You know what I mean? And if it's this negative thing that made everybody just pay attention, I just wish people could just see, like, oh man, they're really representing. There's Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys and Beyonce and Jay-Z. That, to me, I look at that as like, wow, look at us. That's something to be proud of. And I'm just so glad this young man got off from that, and can learn and take my advice. You just get your. Well, no, he can't. He probably can't get a legal.
No, he has a carry license.
Oh, he does?
That was the whole thing.
I thought he had a felony.
No.
In the past.
Okay, so in real life, he has a carry license and legal guns at home. But he claimed that this was a prop gun that he got from a music video set.
Right.
And that was sort of the thing.
It might have been, right?
It might have been. But, the argument was, well, you're going to go meet someone that you have a problem with. Why would you bring a prop gun?
I don't have a problem with that. It's like, hey, if something happens, I could chill it out without lethal force.
Man, I
know.
Listen, I've talked to multiple people about this.
You can quarterback that, but
listen, I feel like having a prop gun is more dangerous than having a real gun. Absolutely. You pull out a prop gun, that gives everyone around you complete reasons to pull out real guns and kill you.
Yeah.
And sort it out afterwards and walk away from it completely.
I disagree. You're putting it in a specific context. Now, if
I would never carry a prop gun.
I know you would never carry a prop gun. Ever. Hear what I'm saying. Okay. Let's chronological. This thing. If I pulled out a prop gun, it's to at ease some shit and stop it right there. I think what you're thinking about is that antagonizing somebody, which is very specific, to pull out a gun also, which would be crazy. No, I'm just hear me out. Hear me out.
I'll listen.
Because it's not that I didn't come from anything like this. There's a reason why I know about, hiding the real gun and all of that. I'd only speak about this because I come from a culture and I've probably been in close to 12 shootouts. So and the reality of those situations, and just like with the whole martial arts and everything else, you gotta basically go off of what the likelihood is. And so I get it when you say, oh, I got a prop gun, well, I got a real one. But what is that scenario? You know what I mean? That's so specific.
Okay.
Usually if I pulled out a prop gun, or anything, even a regular fight is only lasts seconds. So if there's an altercation and someone has pulled out something, usually that's the end of it, and you go your separate ways. So statistic-wise, more times, I bet you there's more times where someone pulled out a weapon and that chilled things out than somebody pulled out a weapon and then someone else pulled out another weapon after they did. I think the likelihood of that is far more slim. That's all I'm saying.
Look, there was a video that circulated. It was in Texas. A guy goes into like a diner with a gun and starts to rob everyone in the diner. Tells everyone, give me your money, whatever else. One of the diners there, one of the patrons, as he starts to turn around, pulls out a real gun and kills him. Right?
See, and then hold on. Situation.
And then when he goes over to the body and he picks up the gun, and
it's a blank.
It's a fake gun. And he throws it on the ground, pissed off.
You are stretching. I could give you better. I could give you way better scenarios than that. That's a poor scenario.
From my point of view,
that's ASAP Rocky trying to rob a store with a blank gun. That's like extra Jordan-esque stupid.
Okay. I'm saying is, as someone who owns a gun, owns multiple guns.
That's not a good argument.
I feel in my mind, right? This is the way I'm going to function for the rest of my life. The way I've always functioned.
But
I feel that when I pull out my gun, there's only one reason to do it. It's not to calm things down. It's not to make sure people chill out. It's to kill somebody. because I have no other choice at that matter.
That's a different scenario altogether. If the subject was, how do you kill someone? Yeah, you pick out a real gun.
Well,
but no. Hear what I'm saying.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
ASAP Rocky.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go out reality. What happened? What happened? Not theoretically. What happened?
Okay.
Whoa. What
Let's
happened?
talk about what happened, because I went into the story.
He shot at the whatever.
A$AP Rocky.
And was that the end? Was that the end?
In this case, it was, yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we're talking about not theoretically, right? These are usually how these things happen. If you want to stretch and create a scenario where it's stupid, I can give you better scenarios where it could be stupid to carry a prop gun.
So you're telling me a scenario of you shooting at someone and them shooting back is crazy?
No,
That's what usually happens in these scenarios. You shoot at someone, if they have a gun, they'll start to shoot back. So now you have a real gun shooting up against a prop gun, and what ultimately happens with that situation?
One of us has been in that situation, and it wasn't
I've never been in a shootout. I got it. I'm not sitting there trying to be a gangster here on camera. You've been in actual shootouts. I haven't, but I also have real guns. I also have done gun training. I deal with police officers for my security. I'm not just pulling out a prop gun to calm things down.
Bro, listen. You're talking to a guy, you almost never seen me unarmed, right?
I guess, yeah. You never show me your gun, so I have no idea whether you're armed or not. You're not somebody who just, hey, look at my gun. Like,
no. Well, you know, but so I grew up in gun culture.
Okay.
And I do tactical training all the time. It's a thing I do. My brother, Secret Service, I've just been around it my whole life and been in the streets. It's just when I'm saying the likelihood of stuff, there are percentages, okay? All I'm saying is the majority of the time, if somebody pulls out something, that's a specific reason. That's usually the end. That's usually the end of it. And then guess what? Well, there's so many other scenarios you could come up with. What if before he did that, another gun was pulled on him? But he did this. It ended. Everybody went their separate ways because you start firing off shots. What do people do? Stay around? It's like no. They split. They go. So all I'm saying is, the brother was right. I'm not agreeing with he should never do that again.
At least we're on the same page with that.
Yes, he should never do that again.
Thank you.
But as far as it being stupid, I'm not saying it was stupid. Because
I would say
it's stupid. It's stupid in the scenario that you put it to be, where I'm going to go into a store and rob it with a fake gun. And then a guy.
Look. So let's just say. All right, let's just say what you're saying is correct, right? And I'm not doubting. So let's just say
it turned out to be.
Let's just say that in these scenarios, when you pull out a prop gun, 90% of the time it calms things down and nobody pulls out a gun themselves.
Thank you. Yeah.
What about that 10%?
Well,
that
what about the 10%?
Could end your life. I'm just saying
Would
the
you rather
repercussions.
Go the 90 or the 10?
When it comes to your life, and when it comes to your actual ability to breathe,
but bro,
I'm not going to go for the 10%. Would you ride a roller coaster if you have a 10% chance of death? No. You stay off that roller coaster.
Well, hear this part. How many times did it end shit that could have went the other way?
What do you mean?
Well, imagine, like, I see some shit about to start, right? I feel it's happening. It's swelling up. I pull before anybody else, and they go, okay. Now, you can't tell me that there's situations where that didn't chill out everything and everybody went their separate ways before somebody got killed, namely the person that pulled out. So all I'm saying is just to throw it out there, we don't know the other side of things that it chilled out. Because if somebody pulled out a gun and said, hey, let this stop right here, well, usually that stopped it. And we don't know what could have happened. All I'm saying is there is, and why I said to DL on the phone, hey, if you had to chill some shit out with the real gun, well, and then cops came and it's like, whatever, and you got to speak for yourself, go back, hide that shit, come back with the fake, right? Because pulling out a gun, usually does chill shit out. Usually. And I got you to admit 90%. So so 90% is better than 10%.
Okay, let me tell you about an actual real situation involving people I've actually interviewed. Okay? The Migos. Migos were in Texas outside playing a dice game with a bunch of, Houston guys. The game started to get heated. I think someone had, blamed someone else for cheating or whatever. So an argument starts to kind of escalate a little bit, and you see the Migos security pull out his gun. Shortly afterwards, the other guys pull out their gun, a shooting breaks out, and Takeoff dies.
Okay, yeah.
Had that gun, if their security hadn't pulled out that gun first to try to chill shit out, none of this would have probably happened, and Takeoff would still be alive doing music. I'm just saying, you take out a gun with people who have guns already, like, you're risking death in that situation.
Yeah, that was a stupid thing for that guy to do that and not.
But this is what happens when you pull out guns without actually shooting them. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, my whole thing is like,
believe me, more situations.
Everyone's watching this.
Yeah.
When you guys see me, if I pull out my gun, that's it. I'm shooting. I'm not shooting in the air. I'm not gonna hold it sideways and wave it around.
Bloodthirsty?
Tell people how tough I am. I'm pulling out a gun and I'm gonna try to kill you. That's the only reason I would ever pull out a gun. That's just me.
Yeah,
that's just me.
I would encourage
Otherwise,
you to.
I won't pull out the gun. I'll keep it on me.
I would encourage you not to say that on your CCW forum.
Okay.
Well, please don't say that.
That's the only reason to actually pull out a gun.
No.
They tell you, well, when we give you this concealed carry permit, when things get heated, just pull it out and wave it around. Because that'll de-escalate things.
No,
Do you think that's going to be part of the training?
You're going a little too far with that.
I always go too far.
Do a little too much.
This is who I am.
Because hopefully, I mean, if somebody's at the other end of that barrel, you're about to take a human life, and so there is a certain moment where you can say, "Let me see your hands. You could do this. Or, you've done this or whatever. You've broken in. I consider you a threat. You better sit your ass down."
I'm not doing all that.
Well,
I'm just shooting. I'm just shooting at that point because I feel at the point I pull out, I have no other choices.
No.
I have no other choices. I feel that my life is in such a. Listen, I've been through. I talked about the home invasion. I've been through near-death situations. I thought I killed someone. I understand what it's like to protect my life.
When you get educated with it, I'm sure you're going to change your
maybe.
Because you can spend a lot of your life in prison. Based on that thinking, because you have to account for your actions.
Listen,
and you saying, somebody like, you know how many people are in prison today because somebody broke into their house and they just shot them?
Listen, I dealt with a home invasion. This guy jumped in and attacked me, and I thought I killed him. I went outside with the police. They say, "What happened?" I described what happened. I'm like, I don't know whether he's alive or dead, but I thought he was dead when I walked out of the room, and they were like. They talked to the girl. She confirmed he broke into the house. He doesn't live there. He attacked me, whatever. They didn't even ask for my driver's license. They were like, okay, self-defense. Have a nice day. I was never charged. He was charged. Ultimately, he got probation because I never, pressed charge. Well, I never showed up to court. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
but the whole thing,
California, man.
It was self-defense. This guy broke in my house. He attacked me first, and I did what I had to do to get out, and I'd do it again. And if I had a pistol that night, I would have blown his head off. And I think I would have walked away from it.
Yeah, you have the whole state of California against you.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
I'll take that. And let me tell you, at that moment, I truly felt like he was going to kill me. I truly, from the bottom of my heart, some crazy person jumps in and attacks me in the middle of the night who I've never met before because I clearly was fucking his ex-girl. Like, I felt that, and he told me, he said, "Are you ready to die?" I felt like, okay, I'm going to die tonight unless I do something extreme. Unless I go all out and I do not care about what the repercussions are. I'm simply protecting my life at this moment, and I would do it again. If I had a knife in my pocket, I'd stab him in the neck. Ultimately, something else happened, and he survived. But if I had a gun, I would have blown his head off. I am protecting my life during a home invasion.
I hear you. But
you see what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't pull out a knife and wave it around. It's already started. It's already began at the point where
I hear you. You don't
listen,
have
I wouldn't pull out a gun because someone said they want to fight me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll lose a fight. That's fine. But at the point where someone's like, I feel that my life is truly in danger. I have to make a split second decision. You can say it about
8 more times. I get it, man. Like, I'm saying.
No, but I feel passionately about it because I went through some shit. I've never been in a shootout, but I've been in a near murder situation.
What I'm telling you is, like, you got to be about taking somebody's life.
Yeah.
You really have to really think about what you're stepping into.
Let me tell you, when I walked out of that room, after I thought I had killed him, I thought he was dead. I thought there was a corpse in the room. My first thought was good riddance. Didn't care. Didn't give a fuck.
I get
I'm like,
that.
fuck this guy. Yeah, this guy jumped in, attacked me, threatened to kill me. I don't feel bad at all if he dies.
Yeah, I'm
not at all.
I'm picturing everything you're saying like this. Just so you know.
Okay.
You know, all I'm trying to educate you into is very careful. You got to be very careful what you say, and because you could be saying all of that and it could mean nothing because of your intention. You say, when you pull that trigger. Yeah. There's going to be people educated and who really will get you to, say things in a way where, oh, was there any other options? Oh, well, I could have. You're gone.
I know.
You know what I mean? You're gone. That's all I'm saying. Is that there are cases where you should be able to chill some shit out, right? And without taking that life, because if you have that power that they're giving you, that's the attitude they want. Not, if I had a chance, I would have stabbed him in the neck. You know what I'm saying? Because that sounds like...
In self-defense, after someone breaks him out, in a home I'm staying at and says, "Are you ready to die?" Yeah, I would do that if I had a knife on me.
Yeah, but
he was pretending like he had a weapon on him. He's telling me, the words came out his mouth as he's staring at me face to face and said, "Are you ready to die?"
I get it.
He said, "I just got out of prison. I don't give a fuck."
I overstand.
He was lying about that part. He actually had never been to prison, but he was pretending to be this ex-con murderer,
you be saying
killer.
All of that shit behind bars, brother. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Well, anyways, we'll just finish off this segment.
Okay.
I am truly happy A$AP Rocky
Me too.
got out. I'm a fan of his
brother,
music.
Good brother.
I'm a fan of his overall, aura. I'm happy that I've always said how happy I was to see him and Rihanna together. They have 2 kids. Rihanna showing up to court, I'm sure helped as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It didn't hurt. It didn't hurt. Rihanna's the biggest star in the world, almost.
I love
you could
that.
say. Their lawyer. My whole thing though was, and I'll still say it today, that even knowing what happened in the trial, I would still have taken a 6-month plea deal. Because I felt that gambling with 24 years, and actually at the end, the DA requested 10 to 12 years, which is still an insane amount of time. If you're telling me, okay, 10 to 12 years, potentially, if the jury goes a certain type of way, there's a victim who's testifying against me, who's pointing the finger at me and saying I'm the shooter, and all I got to do is 6 months, and in the state is really going to be 3 months because of the overcrowding, I would just do that time and wash my hands of it.
I admire that brother. I praise him, and I would have done the same thing as he did.
Oh, so you would have taken it to trial?
Yes.
Okay. Well, listen. I'm happy. I'm happy he's out.
Me too.
I'm happy he's out. Shout out to Rocky. Maybe he'll go make another baby with Rihanna now to celebrate.
I love those people, man. I love
go
what
back
they
to
mean
making
and what
music.
they.
I think Spike Lee actually said he was happy the jury voted because now I guess they have a movie that A$AP Rocky's in that they can start promoting.
I wish them all the best.
And so forth, man. A$AP Rocky's free. I'm happy, and I don't want people to think that somehow I'm not happy, but I will still say I still think he should have taken the plea deal.
Yeah, I know.
Now in retrospect, he's better off without it, but with the information at that time,
that's some
I would take the plea.
Good old fashioned integrity that ain't around very much.
Yeah.
And not saying that you don't have it. I'm just saying I love and embrace the fact that he did.
Well, you actually had some bad news in your life recently because your wife's parents lost their home in the Altadena fire.
Yeah.
And what I didn't realize until you and I started talking was Altadena was the first neighborhood in California to allow black people to buy property.
Yeah, Altadena is historical in that it was the first neighborhood that black people were allowed to buy homes. That's why everybody, Jackie Robinson, and just every black
Muhammad Ali had a home.
Muhammad
there, right?
Ali, everybody. Yeah. That's the first place you could go. And so with the loss of Altadena, it kind of felt like Black Wall Street, Oklahoma to me, because it's such a history there. And my mother and father-in-law lost their home of over 50 some odd years.
50 something years?
Yeah. It was the house that my wife was born in.
Oh, so
yeah,
the 70s then? 60s maybe?
70s. She get pissed off at you.
Well, no, but I mean, they could have owned a home before they had her.
Actually, yeah. They, so, yeah, man, but like, whew. Just a picture of the property, like they lived on a corner, and that picture of just rubble, man, that picture could have been something completely different, because her mom and our daughter, they came to our house. They evacuated around 8 o'clock. Her father chose to stay. He didn't think the fire was going to come down the mountain like that. And he, everybody was frustrated with him, but he said, "No, I'm going to stay." Luckily, 4:15 in the morning, he woke up, looked out of the window, house across the street, fully engulfed. Looks out his window, back porch is already on fire. Runs out of there in like a minute and a half, grabs the dogs, runs, gets in his car, drives to my house. He's so frazzled by the time he gets to my house, can't even park the car. I parked the car for him. I got in that car and almost choked because of the smell of the smoke in the car, and I'm a half an hour away from him. He drove through smoke. He said it reminded him of Vietnam, which he suffered some issues, PTSD from that. But it was like the fact that he couldn't even see. Now his neighbor was hosing down his house, right? Hosing down his house and had to run out of there at 11 o'clock. But he hosed down part of my father-in-law's house before he left. He showed a video of what it looked like at 11, and it looked like the apocalypse. So at 4:15, what my father had to go through, I can't imagine. He said he couldn't even see. But now the picture of that rubble, man, that would have been a picture of my father-in-law's last resting place. And so that puts things in perspective. And that is a picture of triumph over something, otherwise terrible, which it was, that you lose all these, belongings or whatever. But real quickly, it's the second place to losing a loved one like that. So they're doing really well with it. We got them a house that's like 5 minutes from ours. And so, man, and they're doing really well. You missed the big party, you was out of town for my wife's 50th birthday party, and her father and mother were dancing their ass off, and that was only like a week after the house was burned down, or a couple weeks. But they're good. They're good.
They had home insurance.
Yes.
And fire insurance.
They had very good home insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got there was a check the following day. Like, it was unheard of how fast. If I could remember their home insurance, I'd shout out to them right away. But they're amazing insurance that they had.
Yeah, I don't know if we spoke about this during that time, but when the fire started breaking out, I found out that the home insurance in my house had lapsed. The State Farm had actually shut it down, I think like maybe 2 weeks before the fire broke out, and none of the insurance companies were taking on new policies while the fires were active. So I was freaking out for a whole week.
Yeah.
So I finally hooked up with this one insurance agent who signed me up to something called the FAIR Act, which was like a state-run insurance.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Up to a certain amount, but it was enough. If the house had burned down to the ground, it was enough to rebuild the house. You know, but it was like for a whole week.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I was just stressed the fuck out every day thinking, I'm about to lose millions of dollars if this fire hits my house. Because I'm completely uninsured.
I remember you know, we talked about that.
I was freaking out. I had a really bad week. And my house was ultimately unaffected in Calabasas, but from what I understand, a lot of these homes that burned down completely in Altadena and Palisades and so forth, a lot of these people didn't have insurance. Bro. Because, like, I think a lot of people were thinking, because State Farm shut down all the insurance policies in California, period, in November. And I think a lot of people felt like, well, you know, if I get insurance, maybe I'll get it in the summer. That's when fire season will start. I mean, it's the winter. How bad could it be? No, it got really bad. Yeah, and I think a lot of people lost if they own the house. And here's the thing also, this is some of the nuances of what's happening. If you have a mortgage, the bank requires you to have home insurance because they hold the deed.
Right.
And they're like, you're not going to fuck around and mess up our investment. But if you own a house outright, like for example, my house I own outright, you don't have to get home insurance. That's up to you. Yeah. So a lot of these homes, like you're talking about, like in Altadena, where people have been there for 40, 50 years, they paid off the house 20 years ago, they own it outright. A lot of them probably didn't bother to get insurance because it was a very significant cost. They just own the land at this point, and they have to sell. If it's like, let's just say a $2 million house, they'll probably get maybe $500,000 for it because it's the land and the foundation. That's it. The whole house has to be rebuilt.
Yeah, and people are trying to swoop in and take advantage of these people.
Yeah.
And offering them $300,000 for their property.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I was right. I said 500, it's 300. Yeah, it's even less.
Man, brother Magic Johnson's coming in. Like, man, you know, we got our heroes, man. And I got to applaud these people who are looking out for you know, other people. And, you know, give them their flowers, man. Magic and others who are doing things, you know, doing the right things for people. Yeah. But, you know, there's another tragedy that was connected to that. Do you know that there was no announcements to evacuate? All the evacuated people, it came through basically word of mouth, bro.
Wow.
Word of mouth. You think my father-in-law knew that it was intended to come down? Well, you know, Palisades is quite different. They had evacuated. If you noticed, if you wasn't even close by a place, it was telling you to possibly evacuate. And not so with Altadena. That had to be word of mouth. That should be looked into because, you know, we almost had a very bad tragedy.
Yeah. I mean, you could rebuild a house, a loss of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't.
There's
plus burning to death, one of the worst ways to die. Like it's just horrific on every level.
Gillian's friend, her father, was hosing down their house. He died in the driveway with the hose in his hand.
Oh man!
With the hose in his hand. Now, just think about what had to have occurred for that to happen.
If I were to guess, he probably didn't have insurance on his home, and he was panicking and trying to do whatever he could do, maybe last minute, to try to save, which is probably his life savings in that home.
Yeah, but also how fast the fire came.
Yeah, that as well.
Yeah.
No, one of my lawyers lost her entire home in the Palisades on the first day. All she could take was her passport and a couple of personal items, and whole house completely gone.
Yeah,
I remember she texted me and sent me pictures. It was like, oh man, it was a bad couple of weeks in LA, man.
Oh yeah,
it really was. I was out in New York at that time, but it was a bad couple of weeks in LA. And I mean, luckily it's over at this point.
Yeah. I hope we gotta make sure that shit doesn't happen again, especially with this warning bullshit. You know, that's the thing that bothers me.
Well, Jon Bones Jones, one of your favorite people.
Oh yeah, definitely he's one of my favorite people now.
Some interesting stuff has happened since last time. He went on IG Live in the middle of the night and had sort of a very cryptic video. You know about this?
No, I don't.
He said, you go on a trip and get pissed off, disappointed, and as a dad, you just want to kill him. And he signed off.
I don't know what that means.
Go on a trip and you get pissed off, disappointed. And as a dad, you just want to kill.
I don't know what that is. I mean, he's clearly, you know, kind of venting. I don't know what that means. You know, I love that man. He's, like I said, he's one of my favorite people. He's a hero to me. He's and what he's been doing with his life and how he's been representing himself, I'm super, super proud of him. You know, it's weird when you have the whole world kind of staring at you, and when you say something like that, that cryptic stuff, it goes all over, and then here you are playing it. And so, yeah, man, I'm just really proud of how just some of the other things that he's been doing, and how he's been, you know, kind of representing himself. And he's just been an ambassador of peace and just doing so much and sharing his art, and it seems like he's at a really wonderful place. We have our good days and bad days. That doesn't seem like a bad day to me.
Yeah. This is why when I have bad days, I stay off social media.
Yeah.
It's usually, you know, nothing good's going to come. I mean, and listen.
I so wish that you would be showing me all the good shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, we could do that too. But, you know, if it bleeds, it leads. You know, this is the
if
time.
If it bleeds, it reads, I think.
But you know, let's weigh them.
Yeah.
Let's weigh the good with the bad.
Well, Daniel Cormier said that Jon Jones can't be called the greatest of all time due to failed drug tests and anti-doping violations. So he said, well, let me read you what he said. He said, you guys always do that, and honestly, you can't deny his greatness. Look at what he's done. This guy has now fought through 3 generations of fighters. He fought the early generation with Machida and them. He went through my generation. Now he's fighting a whole other generation of guys. So yeah, of course, he's one of the greatest fighters of all time. But when you do dirty shit, you can't be called the greatest of all time.
Daniel needs to get over that. Because people like, you know, I always have the feeling whatever's inside somebody, they're going to try to find a reason for them to spout that shit. He's butthurt because of the whole thing. You know, they've been enemies.
Explain why he's butthurt.
Because he got beaten by John twice. Mm-hmm. And they go back and forth. And Dan, I love the guy too. He's a sportsman. He's got his pride and everything else. Because people like to hang this stuff on steroids. Like, that's going to give you a bunch of skills. Like, I'm sorry. It don't fucking work that way.
Well, okay.
It really does not work that way.
But look, okay, let's just take a step back and look at sports in general, right? Look at baseball. You have a bunch of all-time greats who are not in the Hall of Fame because of the steroid stuff. Barry Bonds, who's got more home runs than anybody, not in the Hall of Fame. Jose Canseco, who I interviewed. These guys were...
I get it. But
absolutely. I mean, look, I interviewed Pete Rose. He didn't get into the Hall of Fame. He's the hit king. He has more hits than anyone, and no one's ever going to beat him because of how long he played. But because of the gambling stuff, he's not in the Hall of Fame. So this does happen in other sports.
Yeah,
this is a real thing.
Yeah, I know. I know very well. There's a lot of those guys on steroids. But, like, you know, if I would love to make a statistic of the guys on steroids that never won. I would love to make that statistic and balance it all out, because somewhere, what the hell? You was on steroids. Why didn't you win?
Well, being on steroids doesn't guarantee you win, but when you're already a champion, being on steroids gives you an edge.
I get it. Because you can dispute this till you're blue in the face.
Okay.
Because and how many times and how many times he was exonerated on some shit that was like I even hate to talk about this, because I know enough about certain steroids that that don't enhance you that fucking much, right? The things, it's like, oh, what's so, here? I don't want to like say I'm trying to dumb it down, but there's this thing about steroids, the really anabolic type of steroids. They have these effects where you're much stronger, more resilient, and what have you. Those things are kind of specific. It's what is the thing he got bumped for? Just on the level of it, it's like it's not nearly one of the bigger ones that would make a big difference.
Well, I looked it up. So
yeah.
in 2017, Jones was notified about a potential violation in UFC's anti-doping policy. They came from a drug screening where they're saying that the anabolic steroid Turinabol was found in his system.
Okay.
So Turinabol is what he was caught with in 2017.
Okay. All right.
What is Turinabol?
Turinabol is I mix it. There's Trenbolone, not Trenbolone, which is bigger. Turinabol. Oh, Turinabol is kind of like it's kind of like if you were people. My bodybuilder friends use that to like trim down.
Right. So
right. Yeah.
Turinabol is an anabolic androgenic steroid. It was developed in the 60s. It is prohibited in sports at all times.
Right, yeah.
So you cannot use it under any circumstance.
No, I get it. But usually people trying to cut weight will use that.
Okay.
Because, so whereas Trenbolone, I believe Trenbolone is 3 steroids mixed. No, that's sustanon. Fuck, I don't know. But no. But yeah, Trenbolone is a thing that can get bigger because okay, that's the thing that I used one time, right? And because I had a movie coming up, and this is the first time I ever did this shit. It was a long time ago. I twisted my ankle. I sprained my ankle, and I had this movie coming up, and I could not train. I couldn't do cardio, right? And I was like, oh shoot! So I went to the doctor. One of my really good friends, who was she was Miss Olympia, hooked me up with her doctor, was a anti-aging person or whatever, and said, I want you to take Trenbolone to help repair your ligaments or whatever, so I can start moving again or whatever. And I was on it for 3 weeks, gained, I went up to 247 and freaked out. And it took me about a year to lose all that weight. That shit's crazy. That's the first, and my bodybuilder friends were like, what? You're not even supposed to get big on that. And I'm like, well, I remember one time I thought I was getting lean because I started seeing all kinds of definition and everything. That like all kinds of vascularity. I said, oh, well, I must be getting down to, my lean weight, which is around 215. I got on the scale and it said 247. I was like, oh, the scale's broken. I stepped off and I was going to the locker room and I saw a girl get on the scale. And I turned to say, okay, let me see her reaction when she realizes the scale's broken. She stepped off, like, and it was about going. And I said, excuse me. Scale's broken, right? She said, no. I said, seriously? She said, yeah, I'm 127. You know, she got on it and it said 127. I was like, I got on it and it said 247. I was like, I started hijacking everybody. And I'm like, how much you weigh? Get on the scale. Fuck you. And I couldn't believe that I gained that much weight that fast. And then I realized I couldn't touch my shoulder. I couldn't grab the back of my neck.
Damn.
I'm like, oh shit. Like, that's the first time I ever did anything. And it was, and this was a doctor who was prescribed. That's why I was like, fuck that for life. I never want to be that big again. It took me so long. And when I look at, like, when I had that year that I had that weight, it took a long time. I never want to do so. But now that was something. See, my body reacted tremendously to it, right? Which is why I never did it since. But now, Turinabol, I know is something that most people use to lose weight, and shoot, I'm pretty sure it's a cutting drug. So that's when I heard about the time, I said, oh, maybe he's trying to cut down from 230, which he's usually walking around 235, but he's got to make weight at 205. So when I heard instantly, I heard that, but I heard something else, and I was like, oh, he's doing cutting. He's doing a cutting phase. And so, yeah, it's cheating if you're doing that because you're trying to cut but still maintain a certain muscle.
Well, I mean, look.
And but it's a damn sight different than the stuff you're using to get stronger.
Right, but in this particular case, when Jon Jones fought Daniel Cormier in 2017, he tested positive and his victory was actually overturned. And changed into a no contest. So honestly, you can't blame Daniel for saying that.
No, I can't.
He had a fight that he lost, and you find out afterwards that the guy's on steroids, and then everyone just kind of wasted their time on a fight that is considered a no contest.
I get it. There's an asterisk thing that the people would want to identify with, but from the inside, going from me, I go, oh, did it make the difference? I don't fucking think so. I mean, because when I think about the skill level and everything else, a lot of those skills, it's not baseball, bro. There's so many things that you're doing. It's got to be from here, right? So I'm just saying, you're talking baseball, I'm talking fighting. So it's a bit different, and I don't feel that. I mean, yeah, if you want to hate, you will say, okay, he got bumped on that. Okay. I don't believe that's the reason why he's number one.
Well, no, I mean, he's won a lot of fights.
Yes.
All his other fights, he's won, and he's tested negative for steroids. Yeah, and can't say
I believe another one of those tests were overturned.
Huh, okay.
Yes, and so let's put that out there. I don't know if they all were overturned, but he got exonerated on definitely some of those. So, yeah, and being on the inside, a lot of cats will do that, and what they tend to do is, they will train and then go off of it when the contest part comes up. But I mean, still, it's a slap in the face to people like Bas Rutten and Michael Bisping and Randy Couture, who I believe have been natural their whole lives. So I with the existence of those guys, I gotta say, hats off to them. But even with that, no, it don't cause you to have those goddamn skills. And that's the reason why he's won.
Well, Francis Ngannou said that Dana White has prevented him from fighting Jon Bones Jones. He said,
who said this?
Francis Ngannou.
Francis. Oh, well, yeah.
So he said, if you get past Dana White, it could happen, but that's a massive obstacle. But personally, I don't care. I'm doing well. I'm doing my stuff at my pace. I don't care. That won't change my sleep for me. Finishing my career without fighting Jon Bones Jones would be okay. I've tried to fight Jon Jones for 4 years since I fought Rosenstruck. Rosenstrike back in 2020. I've been trying to fight Jon Jones, and they were holding it out like a trap until the moment that I was about to leave, and they said, okay, here's the Jon Jones fight. But it was bait. I felt they were very tricky.
Yeah.
You know about that whole situation, right?
Well, yeah, man. Kudos to Francis, man.
Okay, so Francis Ngannou versus Jon Bones Jones. Who you got your money on?
You know I spoke about this already. They're both friends, man.
Yeah, I mean, but betting against Jon Jones is sort of a little
come on,
a little dicey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Francis Ngannou's done well. I mean, he's
done very well.
He went into the boxing world.
He's done very well. Man, that should be a movie. Francis's story should be a movie. Talk about overcoming your odds. That was a homeless cat, man. And he didn't have anything going but his heart and body and mind and strength. And then he in the money that they denied him, and he made that and more. And he's just a real good brother. That's one of the all-time like heroic stories. Even if he never did it again, that is movie worthy right there.
Well, he fought Tyson Fury and lost, but it was a close fight.
He lost but won.
Yeah.
There was no losers in that fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury actually announced his retirement on January 14th.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He made a video that basically said, I'm done. It was very short.
Oh, shoot. I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Yeah. I mean, how do you think Tyson Fury is going to be remembered in terms of boxing and in terms of the all-time greats?
I'll miss that dude because he has so much character.
Would you put him with the all-time greats?
I think you have to, based on statistics. That's one of the things I love about that sport is because society doesn't make a lot of men anymore, and it's great when we can see them, and really applaud people who dig deep and fight their heart out, and especially a guy like that who's given so much to charity and just never forgot where he's from. It's just we got some giants out there.
Well, what's interesting, we talk about boxers, that there's a list of the top 100 highest paid athletes. No MMA fighters are on this list.
There wouldn't be. 6
boxers made the cut.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, Jake Paul, Canelo Alvarez, Anthony Joshua, and Naoya Inoue. Inoue. Yeah. No MMA fighters, though.
Right. And it's not going to be, I don't think it's ever going to be. I mean, if Conor McGregor, wasn't nowhere near there, then forget it.
Yeah, Conor's not on the list.
Yeah. So, no, I don't think there will be an MMA fighter that will ever make that list. I mean, boxing's been around for a long time. It's almost unfair.
Yeah, and... Yeah, I mean, it's got a bigger audience. It's got more of a worldwide audience than
Absolutely,
MMA.
Yeah.
And, I mean, boxers are kind of become bigger stars than MMA fighters, just overall. Would you say that?
No, I wouldn't say that. No. Well, I mean, historically, of course.
Historically, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think about that statement as I'm saying it. I'm like,
because
okay, is that just not true?
When you think about the most popular boxer right now,
yeah,
you're gonna end up saying something very sad.
Yeah, no, you're right. Boxing's a little bit slow right now.
Who do you think is the most popular boxer there?
Right now?
Well, the legitimate boxer is Canelo.
I mean, there's Gervonta.
Yeah, but popular?
I mean, he is popular.
In boxing communities.
But he's not bigger than boxing.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, I mean...
There's a guy named Jake Paul that's...
No, well, actually, you're right. The most popular boxer in the world is Jake Paul.
It's got to be Jake. That's a trip. And
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
The most popular boxer in the world
is
right
Jake
now, the guy who just beat Mike Tyson, is Jake Paul.
Yeah.
You're right. Mm. Good for him, man. A YouTuber.
Yeah.
Became the most popular boxer in the world.
Absolutely.
Good job.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm a YouTuber, so you know.
Yeah, he's
whole
creating
team is
entertainment
winning.
people want to see.
Yeah.
You know, you can love him or hate him. You know, it is what it is.
Well, there's a current UFC pound for pound ranking. There's a top 15. Who do you think is number one
Pound for pound right now?
right now?
UFC, pound for pound. I think because of popularity and everything else, I think it's going to go to Alex.
No, he's number 3. Alex Pereira is number 3.
Oh, so okay. Then you got Merab or
Merab Dvalishvili is number 5.
And
That's number 5.
okay, come on, man. Like, okay, pound for pound, right now.
Right now.
Ilya's a badass dude.
Illy's number 4.
Okay.
Illy Tapuria.
Yeah. Ilya is like. No
You've
joke.
named 3, 4, and 5.
Okay. Chimaev? No, Chimaev has.
I don't
Wait
even.
a minute. Chimaev doesn't have a loss, does he?
I don't even see him on the list.
Oh shit.
Not in the top 15, at least.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Who is somebody embarrassing that I'm forgetting?
Number 1. You're gonna kick yourself when I tell you.
Khabib's protege. Why am I forgetting?
I think you're getting there.
Huh?
You're getting there.
Yeah, Khabib's.
Should I say it?
Yeah, please. I'm tripping on names right now.
Islam
Makhachev.
Makhachev.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Yeah. He would naturally be number 1.
So you agree with that?
Yeah. There's no disagreement with that.
Right.
And then
Number 2.
Who's the cat that just beat?
We've already talked about number 2.
Okay.
We've already talked about him
Okay.
in this conversation. Who would that be?
Wait a minute.
We've already talked about him in this conversation.
Jon Jones?
Right.
Wait a second. What do you mean? Are you saying?
Pound for pound, they're saying Jon Jones is number 2.
Oh wait. That's stupid.
And this is actually the UFC.com ranking.
I don't give a shit. It's got to be Jon Jones. That's just ridiculous.
So you're saying he should be number 1?
Of course he should be number
So
one.
he
That's
should be number 1
ridiculous.
over Islam.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. John's had more title defenses than Islam's had fights, right?
According to UFC.com, Islam is number 1.
Maybe there's a popularity thing, whatever. No, come on. Jon Jones is number 1 across the board. I don't know how stupidly I forgot to say that, but come on now.
Okay.
And he's just not. Yeah, come on. Yeah.
You want to hear the rest of the list? Okay, so Alex Pereira is 3, like you said. Ilya Tapuria is 4. Merab Dvalishvili is 5. I'm so sorry that I'm butchering these names. I apologize.
You're supposed to. It's hard.
Because these names are like all over the world. They're coming through like from different Eastern European countries and so forth.
Yeah.
Number 6 is Dricus Duplessis.
Yeah.
Duplessis.
Duplessis.
Number 7 is Bilal Muhammad.
Okay. Yeah.
Number 8 is Tom Aspinall.
Right. Who's going to be climbing that with it?
Number 9 is Alexander Pantoja. Pantoja.
Yeah.
Flyweight. Number 10 is Leon Edwards.
Oh, good.
Number 11 is Alexander Volkanovski.
Mm-hmm.
Featherweight.
Yeah.
Number 12 is Max Holloway. Also a featherweight. Number 13 is Sean O'Malley. I thought he'd be a little higher, but...
Yeah, why would he drop that low?
I mean, 13 is not bad.
That's one of the most skillful.
And this is overall throughout all the weights.
Yeah.
See, now if you go into just bantamweights, because there's a bantamweight list,
Yeah.
Sean O'Malley's actually number 1
Okay.
in the bantamweight division.
Oh, yeah.
But overall, pound for pound, he's number 13.
Yeah, just one of the best performances the fight before last, one of the best performances I've ever seen. That guy was like razor sharp. It was like watching a damn Bruce Lee movie.
Number 14 is Charles Oliveira.
Okay.
And number 15 is Sean Strickland. So apart from number 1, you're okay with this list?
Yeah.
And just to break it down in categories, Islam is also, like I said, number one all around. Alexander Pantoja is number one in flyweight. Sean O'Malley is number one in bantamweight. Alexander Volkanovski is number one in featherweight. Let's see. Leon Edwards is number one in welterweight.
Okay.
Nassourdine Imavov is number one in middleweight, and Magomed Ankalaev is number one in light heavyweight, and Jon Jones is number one in heavyweight.
Okay.
And then we get into the girls, and
Gotcha.
we'll just leave that list alone. But yeah, this is what UFC.com is saying.
Cool. Yeah. Just, don't agree with. I mean, I think John's number one. So, yeah.
Well, Jake Paul said that MMA is becoming a shittier version of boxing. He says MMA is not what it was. That's the truth of the matter. Boxing is bigger than ever. The biggest sporting event of the year of 2024 was boxing, whereas MMA is becoming a shittier version of boxing. Essentially, it's kickboxing. Because everyone's getting good takedown defense, and everyone is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, so there's no more submissions really. There's a lot of takedowns, and even if there is, it's fucking boring. But everyone's good at takedowns, at a takedown defense. So it's literally kickboxing. Guess the biggest star of the sport in MMA is Alex Pereira, who's a kickboxer. Because he's knocking everyone out, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And he's the best one because no one can take him down. No one can submit him, so he's just knocking everybody out. So UFC has less significant strikes per rounds, and that's within 5-minute rounds. So boxing is going to stand the test of time because it has. It's been around since the 1500s. I don't think MMA, and I'm not long on MMA because it's becoming boxing.
It's always a matter of personalities. Honestly, it was a big boost when you had the personalities in MMA. When you had the Conor McGregors and Ronda Rousey's, and, Chuck Liddell, there were people that you identify with. You don't have it as much. And sometimes when you have a lot of foreigners being the champions, it loses that because, things get lost in translations. It's just the way it is. But and boxing has been around for a long time. Still, they're hurting as far as personality is concerned. Thus, you got a guy named Jake Paul who takes over because of personality, and selling this kind of drama. So yeah, I can't disagree with what he's saying. It is what it is. But it goes the way as personalities go, and I think when you know how to build that. That's when you can build the sport back up.
Well, you mentioned Conor McGregor. He had a whole tirade where he called out Khabib using the N-word a bunch of times. You heard about this?
No.
Right. So he said 15 minutes. I done Aldo in 15 seconds. Show your wife, N-word. Show your kids, N-word. Cousin fucking motherfucking hiding motherfucker. Show us you and your cousin's kids together because we have kids here in Ireland that want to smoke them in a competition. Where's your offspring? We can't wait to see them. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's a little crazy.
Yeah, well, hopefully after he sobered up, he regretted that.
Yeah, I guess drinking his own whiskey. Didn't work out this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that Conor will actually get back in the ring, or do you think he's just too rich at this point and just doesn't care?
I don't care. But I don't know. He was a freaking comment. He was hilarious. One of the funniest fucking people I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Just naturally.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man! Some of the funniest shit ever. For entertainment's sake, I hope he comes back. But I don't know.
Well, Israel, former UFC middleweight champion, had his third straight loss this month. I mean, Israel was kind of propped up as the next big thing, and now 3 straight losses in a row. What's your take on that?
My take is I wish I would love to work out with that dude.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I would. It's kind of like, in my opinion, you know when you have you're playing a video game and there's all these different controls, all these different weapons, and you don't know which one to use? I feel like that with him.
Oh.
If he would just calm the fuck down and stick to basics, nobody could fuck with him. His ability, speed, timing, all of that is heads and tails above everybody he's lost to. But I think it's just a focus thing. You know, if he went back to basics, they can't stop him.
Okay, so you see a comeback.
If it's here. It's just here. I think it's in the world where he's flashy, he's got this and that, and again, you mean so much to everybody. You change the whole flavor of the room when you walk in, right? There's so much on you. You got all this, but you need to concentrate on this. And the other people that he's fighting don't have that distraction. Or at least they, you got, Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland, that guy can focus. He's somebody I see, his personality, that is a personality. That's somebody you just can identify with, love him or hate him. You gotta respect just how he is as a man, a human being. It's just like, they don't make people like that very much. And, so when him, you know what you're getting. And he's got a great work ethic. He is what he is, but man, on fight day, that dude gives 100% and gives credit to those who beat him just in such a honorable, he's just such an honorable fucking dude, right? But like, say with that, Strickland had his game plan, he stuck to it. He fought and beat a guy that, in my opinion, had every attribute over him, but it was his will, which is, I think that's a wonderful lesson to learn. It's kind of like, what is it, the turtle in the hare, the tortoise in the hare?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, my goodness, he's got half the speed, but was more effective.
Well, Canelo Alvarez, he was supposed to fight Terrence Crawford. He was also supposed to fight Jake Paul, but ultimately he settled on fighting William Skull.
Who?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Who?
All right.
So I guess the Saudi Arabian promoter signed Canelo to a 4-fight contract with the goal of actually setting up a super fight with Terrence Crawford, but also blocking the Jake Paul fight. So Canelo basically says he fights real fighters and he was going to fight a fucking YouTuber. And Jake Paul actually responded saying that he had already signed an agreement with Canelo. And he said, the truth is you can be bought. You're a money-hungry squirrel chasing your next nut. The truth is the sports washing shady characters are paying you hundreds of millions of dollars to stop our fight from happening because they can't fathom the fact that they can't create a bigger fight than me and you. Al Heyman has made you hundreds of millions of dollars and you turned your back on him for this check. Disloyal. And you're begging to do this fight on pay-per-view, but I have loyalty to Netflix, doing the biggest numbers. You call me a YouTuber, but you've never had a boxing match as big as mine. Jake Paul and Canelo in the ring. Who you got your money on?
Canelo. Yeah.
Yeah, Jake Paul's never fought a real boxer.
Yeah.
In his prime.
It's so different. Yeah. It's
a
so
championship boxer. Yeah.
Yeah, even though, Jake has the weight, but Canelo is just at the skill level.
And by the way, Skull is the current IBF super middleweight champion. So it's not just some guy they grabbed out of nowhere. He actually is a champion in his weight class, but not too many people know about it.
I was looking forward to Crawford.
That's what I want to see, but I guess there's a build-up to Crawford.
Okay.
After he wins this, hopefully.
Okay. Yeah.
But I would want to see Crawford just off the top. I feel like they're ready to fight.
Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah. Well, Tank is actually fighting Lamont Roach on March 1st.
I don't know what that is.
He was supposed to fight Shakur Stevenson.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a whole back and forth in it. Yeah, I feel like in boxing, these big super fights that are supposed to happen with the real superstars of the sport is constantly not happening. And you see these fights with these guys that are like, who? What? Where?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you're a real boxing fan.
Somewhat,
you don't know who Lamont Roach is.
Yeah.
You don't know who, William Skull is. The fact they're taking these guys that are relative unknowns with these huge names seems a little weird.
Yeah, but I'm on the periphery really. I don't have much time to follow it like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
And again, there's not many. I do. I'm the voice of Top Rank. I do all the commentary. I do the shows, but like even when I'm doing the shows, when I'm doing the narration, I'm learning about things when I'm doing the narration. I'm like, who is this? And it'll be a champion fighter. So I'm a little bit behind, right?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so.
But I'm just saying, though, like, when it comes to the boxing world, you can't count on making your money from the hardcore boxing fans that know every champion in every weight, in every weight. You have to have these fights that are bigger than the sport to really attract the fans. Like I said, you had Jake Paul, a YouTuber, and Mike Tyson, a champion from 20-something years ago, but at least these are names that everybody knows.
Yeah.
And it brought a huge crowd, on Netflix.
It was what Jake Paul was
Instead
doing.
of Tank versus Lamont Roach. It's like, I don't know who Lamont Roach is.
Right, yeah.
Listen, I'm sure Lamont Roach would beat the shit out of me. I'm not saying he's a pushover, but I'm just saying,
and I'm
Gervonta Davis is a much bigger name.
Yeah, of course, yeah. No diss to Lamont, I just don't,
Yeah.
I ain't going to pretend to be on top of everything.
Right. Well, Gervonta, I've interviewed Gervonta before. Real cool guy. And I've always thought that, like, and he even talked about how people were calling him like a young Mike Tyson in the beginning. And I could see a lot of similarities. He's undefeated also, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Well, he said this is going to be his last year of boxing.
A lot of people will say that.
Okay.
But how often does that turn out to be the case?
Not often.
I feel like one person, Hagler, was the one person who said, I'm going to retire, and he did. I don't, so.
So, for example, I interviewed Michael Spinks recently.
Right.
And after he lost to Tyson, he said that was it. And that was it.
Yeah.
He never boxed again. He was relatively young. I think he was maybe 32, 33 years old at the time.
Oh, okay.
But, Leon Spinks was super messed up. So I think he probably was looking at his brother, who's older, probably saying, okay, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, some boxers actually do it.
Yeah,
but
some do. Yeah,
like the Muhammad Ali's of the world, go way past.
Yeah, the majority of them can keep going.
Well, I think a lot of them just run out of money at one point. That's what I think is really what happens.
Yeah, I don't think firsthand. I got a lot of good friends with boxers, and they're used to making that kind of money, and they're used to spending a certain way, and it's a transition when they have to go and do something else.
Look, the one thing that I realized from being in the entertainment industry for as long as I've been in, and getting conversations, getting to conversations with these guys off camera and talking about finances, because I've always been big in stock investing. I also own, property. And I've always taken the approach of set the foundation, build your wealth, use compound interest, and over time, I will have enough where it just doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
But when I talk to a lot of these guys, I'm not going to say who, but people I've recently interviewed who everybody knows who they are, they've made millions and millions of dollars and they burn through it. And they're like, this past year I've had to just struggle. I've had to just scrape by. But, I got this multi-million-dollar deal coming that's going to take me out of this situation. And I'm going like, you've been making money way longer than me. Like, you should not be scraping by at this point in your life. Right. Like, you should have a financial base. But these guys are like, nah, I don't want to invest my money and wait 5-10 years. I need that quick money. And this is, I think, the norm in entertainment.
Of course. How are they going to find out something else? when at one point from when they're young and they start making money, does this knowledge get to them? You know, it's getting to them from cousin Ray Ray. It's hard because then it's like, you know, that there's people waiting to get you, right? How do you know somebody's coming in with the right information? So it's tricky. And you're used to saying, okay, I got a bag coming. And, I fucked this up. Here's the new bag. And I took care of it off the new bag. And now we're straight. So that happens quite a bit for more people. But that's just natural. I've run into that same situation myself. I'll take care of this on the next, but it's happened enough times that I'm like, oh hell no. But I've had the time to do that. If I was rolling, I'd probably be running into the same problems.
Yeah.
But there's times where I have to go, I need to do something different. There's enough lean times that I go, oh wait, let me avoid this. So I mean, it's just natural. And people don't grow up with this knowledge. It's not like if there's a parent in the household that has done that and knows how to save money, well, there you go. That's something you inherit. But a lot of these folks, they don't know that.
Yeah, this almost reminds me of what's happening right now in the hip hop world and the acting world. So I don't know how familiar you are with this, but I'll kind of give you the backstory. So you're familiar with the show BMF?
Mm-hmm.
And that's based on Big Meech.
Yes.
Right? Who just got out of prison after doing 20-something years. And his son, Lil Meech, is the star of the show. So over the course of 3 seasons, Lil Meech made something like $4 million. Okay. Right? So Big Meech gets out, and there's this big concert that's supposed to happen, like the Big Meech Welcome Home concert with like all the biggest hip hop stars doing the show for free, like Lil Baby and Kodak Black and 21 Savage and Boosie and Sexy Red and so forth. So as he's gearing up for the show, he does a video with Rick Ross, who is arch enemies with 50 Cent. So 50 Cent flips out. Basically was like, calls him a snitch.
Calls
Big Meech a snitch because there's some rumors about him cooperating and so forth. Okay. So they start going back and forth, and at one point, Lil Meech text messages 50, and 50 posts a text message, and he said, "Yo, fuck Rick Ross, but he gave my dad some money, which he needed, and I just need to wait until I get my check for next season of BMF, or else he wouldn't have to do that." So now the story starts opening up that Lil Meech has basically burned through like $4 million and is now broke because he's buying $10,000 Chrome Hearts jeans. He's buying $250,000 watches. He's hanging out in Atlanta with all the rappers and throwing $30,000 in a strip club because he's hanging out with all these rappers who are actually making money constantly.
Yeah.
And, now his dad is doing videos with people, and now his son's career is now unsure because 50 Cent basically says, what next season? Fuck this show.
Okay.
But it just shows how you can make millions of dollars, and after a couple of years, you could be dead broke.
True.
By trying to keep up with the people who you think are your peers, who aren't really your peers.
True.
These are people who are way more established than you. Mm-hmm. But since you think you're the hot actor because you're on a hot show, and that's the only show he has, keep in mind. Yeah. He's not in like 20 other movies. Yeah. He's not Michael B. Jordan that's being cast as the lead, and there's really all types of other money coming. Yeah, he just has this one show. His dad comes out, messes up that opportunity, and now...
Where was he supposed to learn that from? Just going back to the same point.
Right, because his dad, and what I think was happening, because he had these huge BMF diamond chains and stuff like that, and it's like, I've interviewed Lil Meech, and I've also met Big Meech back when, before prison. Like, what I think was happening was you got this young kid who's trying to emulate his dad and trying to show that he's balling out like his dad was. His dad was a drug dealer. He wasn't paying taxes. You know, it was all cash. It was something that was illegal, that has addiction tied to it.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to, you can't compete as a working person with a drug dealer kingpin. But yet, here you are trying to do that, and now you're broke, and now your dad is doing what he can to kind of get by. It's just an interesting story of when you just don't have any financial education. Because what should have happened was, okay, I'm going to put $1 million aside for my dad for when he gets out. He'll be good. But it doesn't sound like he has money for his dad.
Okay. It's again, like, where was he supposed to get that knowledge from? It would be very hard for him to do that. So I'm not going to like fault him for what he doesn't know. There's a lot of us at that young, you know, where would it come from? So but I'm not going to dance on his grave. It's you know, you live and learn. And if anybody is listening to this, hopefully they're like, okay, well, the message is, hey, let's learn from the mistakes and make sure we we know the street, we know that culture, but there's other stuff that's been kind of, you know, separate. We got to try to learn these things as well, but it's hard. It's hard because you ultimately got to trust somebody. You know,
I don't think you need to trust somebody.
Yeah, you do.
I think you need to actually sit down and start reading books and start taking some basic finance courses and actually take your money seriously, because if you don't take your money seriously, it will all be gone very quickly.
True.
I burned through all my money. When I first started making money in my late 20s, I bought a house in the hills in Oakland. I bought a 500 SL Benz.
And what changed?
I went broke.
Right? And then what?
I went broke. And I told myself, you know, this goes, the dot-com crash, you know, it was out of my control to a certain degree, but actually it wasn't, because I was just spending money thinking that it's going to keep coming forever.
How'd you change it?
After I went broke, and I was essentially homeless for a while, sleeping on couches, I told myself that if this, you know, the next time I make money, and I told myself I definitely will make money, it's going to take a while, that I'm going to train myself in how to actually invest. And I'm also going to never assume that I'm going to make any more money as I'm making it. And I have to treat it as so. And once I started making more money, maybe 10 years later, first thing I did was read Warren Buffett's book. Then I read Benjamin Graham's book, who Warren Buffett, you know, learned from. And then I read Fisher's book, who Warren Buffett also learned from. And I started, you know, watching interviews. And, you know, I had a financial advisor for a certain amount of time and realized I didn't really need them. But ultimately, I learned how to take my finances into my own hands and how to grow. And, you know, look, February 19th, 2025, if this is the last interview I ever do for the rest of my life, I can maintain a comfortable lifestyle at the current level I currently live at for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
If I stop right now.
Got you. But you trusted your advisor. You trusted Warren Buffett and the person that Warren Buffett trusted.
Right.
So, yeah. So that, all I'm saying is
you got to find people you trust.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You got to ultimately trust somebody, even though you're coming from a culture that says trust nobody.
Yeah. Well, Trump signed an executive order that's going to ban transgender women and girls from competing in female sports. And he actually put Linda McMahon, who is the wife of Vince McMahon, as the head of education. Okay. And she said, I do not believe biological boys should be allowed to compete with girls in sports.
Hell yeah. I agree.
I've been saying this whole time.
Yes, of course.
I think it's absolutely stupid
there's
put
a lot of
biological males
come on.
in competitions with biological females. I think is dumb. It's dumb. Now, I'm perfectly fine with biological females competing in male sports if they're actually at that level, which almost never happens.
Right.
or actually never happens that I know of.
I've never known it to happen.
But it could happen at some point.
In what?
I don't
sport?
know.
It's just
Maybe basketball?
no. Oh, I mean, you know what? There could be a point guard.
There could be. Listen, I interviewed Muggsy Bogues.
Very hard.
Muggsy Bogues was like 5'5".
But he's fast. But yeah,
He was very fast.
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah. So yeah,
But still, he was 5'5". And there's 6'5" women out there.
But they're women. It's difficult, man. It's difficult to try to. I mean, you talk to Serena Williams. She admits that she'd be like number 600 if she was competing with.
She said that.
Oh yeah. She was very very clear about that. I think I told you about like her playing Boris Kojo at his tennis thing and just destroying her. And I'm like,
Boris Kojo beat Serena Williams. That's so wild.
Well, he's a man.
Right.
But
he's not even a professional tennis player.
Well, he was a collegiate tennis player.
He was never a professional.
But that's the
collegiate and professional are not the same thing. You just beat the greatest female tennis player of all time.
I was beating a girl I dated was a 5-time Olympian.
Yeah,
and I would beat her in the 100, and it's like you would think, what?
Speaking, since you mentioned Serena Williams, did you see that she was performing? She was crip walking.
Yeah.
During Kendrick Lamar's set.
Oh, absolutely.
During the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah.
I guess the question is, you ready for this?
I think I know where you're going.
You know where I'm going with this, right? Now, the song she was dancing with was "Not Like Us," which is a Drake diss song.
I get that.
She used to date Drake. And now she's married.
No, fuck that. I'm sorry. I know it's Stephen A. Smith. Shut up on this.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Wait.
Let me ask you a question.
But that harkens to her. What happened when she crip walked on the tennis court, and they criticized her for that. And that basically, this is the arc. That is the arc.
I understand.
I mean, that is so much more obvious as the catalyst for that.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Your wife approaches you and said, listen, I'm about to go perform at a huge event where the event is centered around dissing my ex.
That's not what it is. So that's what you want to call it.
Was all about dissing Drake.
No, fuck that. No. It's to me, it's like, oh, somebody she used to date. Who gives a shit? To me, she's crip walking. She's crip walking. What is she known from? The crip walking event at the tennis competition.
The Olympics. Yeah.
That is specific. Now, if she wanted to just dance and show up, then maybe I could understand a little bit more.
So you're saying it's all about the crip walk?
Oh, hell yeah. It's a specific thing that she was doing. That to me, just please, if somebody wants to look at it that way, I disagree. That is like, fuck y'all. Here's my culture. I'm from here. Fuck off. I'm crip walking. You know what I mean? Which I'm like, yes. Hell yeah. And just the thing about Drake, well, I mean, that's so insignificant. And I think with that, and she's a married woman. Fuck Drake. In their relationship. That pales in comparison.
So if you were married to Serena Williams and she said, I'm about to go crip walk during the Not Like Us part of the Super Bowl halftime show.
And I was married to her, and it exists that she was criticized for crip walking, paying homage to her culture in a white event. I would be like, go ahead.
Super Bowl is a white event?
No, tennis.
Oh, tennis. Okay.
Yeah. So I'd be like, so you got to put that in with it. Don't act like the dating Drake was the only thing that existed. So that means you ignoring.
No, you're right. There's multiple parts to this. But the Drake
significant parts.
I mean, Drake even made a comment at his show.
Specifically crip walking.
Okay. All right. Listen.
And it came from Compton. Bravo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If it happened to be that she had a relationship with Drake and it's about whatever, so be it. That's secondary.
Well, Kanye West recently went on a whole new anti-Semitic, anti-black, anti-gay Twitter rant. You heard about this?
No, not at all. I have a Kanye filter, I think.
Okay, so this time around, he said, "I love Hitler. I'm a Nazi.
Wish people would stop paying attention to that cat.
You know, slavery was a choice.
Yeah.
I'm not apologizing. I'm racist. Stereotypes exist for a reason. They're all true. All white people are racist. Jewish people actually hate white people and use black people."
Did he have a sparkler in his ass while he was?
I don't know.
Like
He said, "Some of my best friends are Jewish. I don't trust any of them. Any Jewish person that does business with me needs to know that I don't like or trust any Jewish person that is completely sober with no Hennessy. And I'm completely sober with no Hennessy. I'm never apologizing for my Jewish comments." He then, on his Yeezy shopping website, cleared out the whole site and had a white T-shirt with a swastika on it that he was selling for $20.
I wish people would just stop paying attention to this motherfucker. I really, that's what I really wish. And it's like, I feel terrible adding fuel to this shit. Fuck this dude. Just fuck this dude, man. Like, my God, stop. Stop. Like, it's just like, whatever. Like, dude, like, long time ago, like, as soon as he was doing it, I erased every Kanye thing I ever had.
Okay.
Right? In piece of music, whatever, I'm like, I don't want, like, I'm very careful as to my diet, man. Like, I take good shit in. And what I bring, I was like, yo, okay. Oh, here's some bullshit. Should I feed that to my in my diet? There's nothing from this guy that feeds me, that fuels me. And I don't understand unless there's a part of you that wants to be frustrated and wants to just invite ignorance and hate in your system. Why the fuck are you? I mean, that just speaks on the person that's inviting in it. Hey, I'd love me some more bullshit in my life. I think it's real clear that he's doing that for attention and being provocative. Yeah, maybe maybe I'm not his target audience. I'm too old. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, sometimes when I'm on here, I think like, man, you know, Vlad's my boy. Maybe I should say something like provocative and derogatory, so the numbers go up. Yeah, I know. Yeah, R. Kelly is innocent. R. Kelly is innocent, and you know who's behind that shit?
The government.
No. Aaron motherfucking Hall is behind R. Kelly.
Because he's jealous of R. Kelly's
No.
It's better?
No. Aaron Hall is behind R. Kelly. Because Aaron Hall is like, oh, you want to take my you know, he stuttered. Yeah, I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, I know it.
But he's like, you want to take my style and my look? I'm going to make you pay. And so what he did was he would go into R. Kelly's compound looking like R. Kelly. And he's the one that did all that shit. People, you know, the young girl was like, aren't you Aaron Hall? No. I'm R. Kelly. And I'm about to pee on you. No. This is what happened. So when he would break into R. Kelly's place, right? And he would like, you know, because everybody thought, oh shit, it's R. Kelly. He looked just like him. And then what he would do is he would like give R. Kelly sleeping pills. No, this is real shit.
Okay.
But Aaron Hall is the one that's been doing all this drastic shit to everybody. Because R. Kelly is sitting there, because, you know, I'm an actor. I know when people are telling the truth. R. Kelly was telling the truth, man. He was like, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I didn't do none of this.
Right.
Man, he was telling that to Gayle King, and Gayle King's like this. No, because it was Aaron Hall
It was
all
Aaron
the time.
Hall the whole time.
Aaron Hall had to get even because R. Kelly took his style, his sound, and everything, and his look, right? And so that's what happened. So I'm letting you know, and I'm hoping that this helps the numbers, because that's what really happened. R. Kelly is innocent. It was Aaron Hall because he had to get even.
Okay. That's a great conspiracy theory. I love it.
No, that's not. It's for real.
It's for real.
But interesting. This is a real story about Aaron Hall.
I've been reading Aaron Hall, and I actually asked him about the R. Kelly comparisons.
Yeah, well, yeah. He ain't gonna tell you the truth. He told me the truth.
What's the truth?
Well, because he was behind all that. It was really him. So, but, no. But here's a real Aaron Hall story. I don't know if I ever told you. We were outside of Wesley Snipes' house a long time ago.
Okay.
It was Wesley Snipes had a party, and we was all hanging out. And Aaron Hall would, he trained all these attack dogs, and he would train them in different languages. But Marcus Salgado, who's Wesley Snipes' martial arts instructor, a good friend of mine, he was trying to, Aaron Hall was showing, he had his prize pit bull. He was going to show how he can sick the pit bull on Marcus, but make him stop as he's, in mid-run toward Marcus. And Marcus is down. Okay, he showed me. And everybody around was like, we're like, fuck this. And we broke out. And I was like behind a fence and everything else, because what occurred to everybody is, what if this dog attacks Marcus and Aaron Hall gets into one of them stuttering fits?
Oh, and he can't stop the dog?
And
sorry about that finger,
Marcus
man. I was
getting
stuttering.
mauled, and Aaron Hall is like, that's fucked up. But this really happened. Marcus Salgado, I think you met him at the house.
I may have.
Yeah. But that's a real story. Happened in front of Wesley Snipes' house. Funny as shit, because you go, but nothing happened to Marcus. He was able to stop him. Aaron didn't stutter, but that was some crazy shit.
Well, one of my Vlad TV YouTube members, Charles Monroe, asked a question I thought was pretty cool. Yeah. If you had the chance to enter any movie universe as a character, which one would you choose?
Any movie universe as a character?
Yeah. Of course, there's the Marvel universe, there's the Star Wars universe, there's I'm trying to think what else. There's the Power universe. There's a bunch of them.
Oh man, I so don't follow a lot of that stuff. Everybody would, because
you were actually supposed to play, who was the lead in Power? Ghost. Mm-hmm. You were potentially up for that role.
Let me try to think of what.
So you were close to that one. Were you ever close to anything in Marvel?
A long time ago, I met them for Black Panther.
Okay, yeah,
that
I
was
could totally see that.
That was a long time ago. But shit, man, I always felt that they should have. Well, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. But I always felt like Idris Elba, or Jaimin Hansu, like come on, but for me, I'm not a fan. I don't really follow a lot of stuff. Everybody would tell me Jon Stewart, and I know, and I was just with this brother Aaron Pierre on Saturday. He's Green Lantern. I'm proud of him. Like he's going to kill it.
I am so sick of these fucking British actors. You don't realize they're British until years later. You find out they're fucking British. They come over here with these American accents. You don't even realize it until like you see him in an interview, like Idris Elba. I'm watching The Wire for years, thinking this guy's from Baltimore, he's from fucking London. Like I'm so sick of this. Like they're coming over, taking all our good actor jobs. We never get to do it. You don't hardly ever see American actors doing British accents.
Yeah.
It's only one way. And I actually looked up this guy, this Pierre guy, who I saw. What was the name of that movie?
Ridge. Oh my God! Come on now. What's wrong with me? I'm getting old. Ruby Ridge. Ruby Ridge. Did I get it right?
Rebel Ridge. Rebel Ridge.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, this guy trained at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art.
Shit, he did his work. God damn it.
God damn it.
He did his work. You know,
how is he going to go and do all this training and come over here and actually get a job that he's qualified for? That's horrible.
Yeah, you know, all power to the brother. He's doing it. He's doing his thing. But you know, damn it, I can't think of what. I can't think of what role I'd want, bruh. I swear to you,
I'm not talking about a role, but just in general, what universe do you wish that you were in? Like, for example, me personally,
okay, I think I can tell you.
I would say Star Wars. I would love to be in the Star Wars universe.
Okay, you know what I would like to? I wouldn't mind being the damn a Star Trek captain.
There you go. It's the Star Trek universe.
There you go. Yeah,
there you go.
I wouldn't mind being a damn Star Trek captain like Brother Avery Brooks was.
There you go.
That I would not mind that a little bit.
There you have it. We'll put that out in the world.
Yeah.
If you get a Star Trek role, you know, I want to hang out on the set one day.
Yeah, man, that would be cool. But man, bro, I've gotten to a place, man. I swear to you, it's like I'm very happy where I am. I don't really need nothing. I don't give a shit about what anybody else has. I only want what I have, right? And so, you know, I've been real blessed. So it's all about just giving back, and like, you know, we're in a place where, you know, we're doing what we want to do, right? So it's like, I'm blessed to be able to do my own projects, and so that whole they thing, man, they give you this, they give you, I care not.
Well, you know, it's interesting when I was looking this up, because when I was looking at the whole universe thing, you know, of course you're known for, you know, playing Spawn.
Mm-hmm.
And when I looked it up, there's actually an argument for Spawn being one of the most powerful comic book characters of all time. And according to, you know, forums and so forth, they're saying that Spawn could actually beat Superman, because not only does Spawn have the, you know, superhero strength, but he has invulnerability, flight, teleportation, telekinesis, and he's got Hell's Legion behind him. So in a fight with Superman, they're saying that Spawn would actually win.
Okay.
This is real nerd stuff, man. But come on.
It's super nerd shit.
It's super nerd stuff, but you actually started it. So you can't just say it's nerdy. I mean, this is you.
It's nerdy. It's some crazy nerd shit, man. Like, I mean, we could be grown men talking about, you know, Bewitched fighting goddamn, like,
no, but you know, but superhero fights.
Genie.
I mean, I've been a comic book guy, like, you know, since I was a kid. So it's always interesting to me when I look at like these characters. Like, for example, they're saying like Deadpool is considered one of the greatest, you know, superheroes of all time, because he's basically immortal. Like, you can't kill him. Okay. You know, so it's like, what can you do with someone you can't kill that keeps coming back? You know, like, and is Spawn immortal?
I don't know.
You just don't give a shit.
No, it's. I played the character.
But didn't you just get into it and start to read all the backstories and read all the comic books and really? No?
No.
Oh, okay. I would have done that shit.
Yeah,
I would totally be Spawn.
Let me tell you. Somebody brought me the books. I read the script. The script was about this dude named Al Simmons who turned into Spawn. He's finding out who he is. That was it. Spawn was Al Simmons, and he learned about who the hell he was, and he just got into his powers. So episode 22, I didn't need to look at that shit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that was it.
All right.
And you know what I mean? So I'm playing Al Simmons, Spawn's me, and I'm playing myself. So basically that was it. So
well, one of my other members, DJ Jam and Jimmy, said, who is the greatest black female action star of all time?
Oh, that would be Pam Grier.
Yeah. He said it's probably going to be Pam Grier.
Come on now. Yeah. Who's second? Gloria Hendry, probably.
Well, who's the greatest female action star of all time? Pam Grier?
That's what I meant. Yeah, Pam Grier. You said female, right?
I mean, but there's a lot of female action stars. For example, Scarlett.
No, black. You said black.
I said black. So, but if I open it up to just females,
yeah,
would you put someone above Pam Grier?
No.
Okay.
No, I would say Pam Grier, and second would be Gloria Hendry.
I mean, there's a few.
Who?
I mean, there's Scarlett Johansson. She plays Black Widow.
Is she black?
No, but I'm saying if you open it up to all races.
Oh, you said if you open it up.
Yeah, if you open it up to all races.
I didn't get
Yeah, no, on the black side, I get it, Pam Grier.
Okay,
I got it. But if you open it up to all races, would you still say Pam Grier?
No, of course not.
Okay, so who would you say?
Underworld chick, or yeah,
Kate.
There's a bunch. There's a
Kate Beckinsale.
No, I'm saying Michelle Yeoh. There's Angela Mayo. There's a lot.
I mean, there's Charlize Theron, Michelle Rodriguez, Michelle Yeoh, Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, Mila Jovovich. But
she was great in The Fifth Element.
No, but nobody's above Michelle Yeoh. Stop it. That's
Michelle Yeoh.
That's just like she's the Michael Jordan.
Michelle Yeoh. Okay.
All right. Action female.
Angelina Jolie had a lot of action movies.
Yeah, but did she really do the shit?
No, probably not.
No. Angelina Jolie's stunt double did a lot of action.
Right.
But no, not like Michelle Yeoh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I did a movie with her in China a long time ago. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, God damn it. I was going to say, that's the movie I didn't want to tell you about. But anyway.
You got a movie in China?
No. I made that shit up. Okay. Move on. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
You were just hanging out with Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
The new Captain America.
Yes, sir. #1 movie in the country.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And you and Jonathan Majors are actually good friends.
Yeah. Good brother.
Yeah. He was given such a raw deal, man.
Absolutely. Like I was on the show talking about that whole King Kong thing. You build somebody up and you can't wait to tear their ass down.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he lost a major Marvel role and you see him running away from her. She's chasing him. Listen, man, I've been around abusive women in my day, man, and it's men are always vilified no matter what happens. You're running away and you get charged and then you lose millions of dollars when you're running away.
Man, he's coming back. That dude, Magazine Dreams. Everybody go out and see Magazine Dreams. That is a bad cat. And I just love it. I love these stories where, you take those bumps and bruises and it's about how hard you fight coming back. He's coming back. And after a while, people are going to be going, wait a minute, what did he do? Because, and that'll be the answer. Like, yeah, what did he fucking do?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, come on, this is such a thing of wanting to tear people down. They just can't wait. They go, oh, that's too strong right there. I always feel like people want to do what's in their heart. All they need is an excuse. They want to tear you down because there's something about you that's too strong. And you got to navigate through that. I mean, we talk about that in a lot of ways. But let me tell you, like, brother Anthony Mackie, he's unique. Because Anthony has been the same cat all the time, and he don't care. And he's been, like, straight up and, against all odds, he's kept going. And he's still going.
Can I bring up the Trump story?
Nah, I can't.
Okay. We'll leave it alone.
Yeah.
We spoke about this off camera, which is why I brought it up.
Yeah.
We'll leave it alone.
Yeah.
We'll leave it alone. We'll let people in the comments figure out whatever.
Yeah.
But we'll just leave it alone.
No, I would not do that.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, this is why I'm saying, because we had a conversation off camera, I wouldn't just bring it up.
Yeah, no.
But
it's not for me.
We'll just leave it just like that.
Yes,
And people in the comments could go crazy trying to figure out what the hell we're talking about. Well, you said one of the things you need to work on is to eliminate the wish a motherfucker would part of your character.
Yeah, man. The thing is, I try to be the best person I can be. I reached a place where I feel like I don't have no dark shit. I don't wish nobody harm, even my enemies, or I don't have enemies. I mean, even people that I dislike, I wish them peace. I've actually arrived at that place. The thing that I really want to do is just graduate to the place where I don't have that I wish a motherfucker would part of my character, which is like, to me, it's connected with arrogance, because I so wish a motherfucker would sometimes when I hear of people doing other people wrong, and I just want to be like, yeah, I wish you would, like, you know what I mean, that kind of a thing. And when I see somebody mistreating someone, and my fantasy is to straighten that shit out, but damn, who am I to do that, right? But if it comes my way, I want to get to a point where I would like, you can say what you want, please keep going and whatever. I just want to get to that place where I don't say, what'd you just say? What'd you say? You know what I mean? Where I was in the past, because when it came down to it, fighting was one of my favorite things to do. It may sound twisted, but I loved fighting. It was like, it's such a high for me.
Well, you said it was your biggest high, even beyond sex.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
fighting,
what the hell?
I swear on everything, man. Fighting was my favorite thing to do. When I closed my mind and just thought, it used to be worse, because I remember when I saw was it Natural Born Killers? And when it showed their perspective and everything's red and violent and everything else, I was like, that's me. That's me. Like, that's the way I looked at things. And that's why the fighting was always great for me, because I would think of every scenario, and I had a body that would enact that. So it was just fun.
Yeah, man, look, I mean, winning a fight, as crazy as it sounds, yeah, it is sort of better than sex, because you have sex a lot more often than you fight.
Yeah,
so it takes away some of the thrill, I think.
No. Well, for me, like, just the high of fighting, to me, it's the ultimate game, right? Because it's mental, it's physical, and the enjoyment I have of it, like being trained and then having your body react at the last minute. It's okay. Any kind of a game, it's the thrill of, in the improvisation of the whole thing. And so fighting with great fighters is just so much fun to me, right? So even when I would fight with people who were lesser of ability, I always made it so I would barely win, because I would work on my weakest tools, so it would be hard for me to overcome. Because the thing was, hey man, you learn from getting beat. And I was always trying, like whenever I did wrestling, I would wrestle with guys who were better than me, or I'd want to fight with guys who had better striking, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, or whatever, because that gave me, it's just fun. And when I started becoming better, it actually sucked, because I didn't get that high of trying to overcome something. I then became an instructor more so, and I didn't get a chance to really get that exhilaration. That's why I've always wanted I always would train with the best guys. It's not an ego thing. It's like, no. And that's why I was like the thing I've talked about more, the last sparring match that I talk about more than anything is when I was sparring with Michael Bisping and I was out of shape. And I had to, my ass had to deal with being like over my, just over my head. I felt like I was underwater. But like that, to me, that made me so much better and made me always keep my cardio up. And, and I never feel comfortable unless I'm straight with that. But like, yeah, fighting has always been so much fun for me. So in an altercation, there's this immature thing of like, this is going to be fun type of thing, which is like, I really want to get that out of my system. I really want to get to the place where I would, and I have walked away from potential issues. I'm sure I have.
You can't think of any, but it may have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. It's something I'm not proud of. I want to do better in that, and I want to stop using accents when I talk to foreign people. I adopt their accent, and I don't like that.
Well, they think that you're mocking them in a way.
I do that. My wife hates when I do it. I hate when I do it. I start speaking like, I could say, I'd like shrimp fried rice and some egg rolls. Instead, it comes out, I want one order of shrimp fried rice, egg roll, and I'm like, God damn it, don't do that. But in conversations, I do that.
Well, have you ever done accents in any of your movie roles?
Yeah, we talked about that.
We talked about this.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the answer.
I avoided it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Okay, there we go.
avoiding it. But yeah, it's something that I try hard not to do. I've embarrassed myself one time. Oh God, damn, this is so embarrassing. Yeah, it's just when I think about it. I was in doing a movie in Vancouver. And I was at this restaurant. It was this Chinese gentleman. He was old. They had kind of like the Mandarin kind of stuff on. It was raggedy, and so he looked like he just got there off the boat or something. And he was sweeping up, and he had this jade bracelet that was bad. And I was like looking at the jade bracelet, and he caught me looking at it. And he looks at me, and I go, "Oh, bracelet, very nice." And he said, "Oh, you think so? I got this at a little haberdashery when my daughter was graduating from University of Oklahoma, and I picked this thing up, and I was like, God damn it.
God damn it.
God damn it."
Well, you are a chief in Ghana. So I'm going to need your help here.
Yeah.
So my friend Michael Blackson, who's also from Ghana.
I didn't know he was from Ghana.
Yeah. That's where he's from.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Right.
Yeah.
So he built a school in Ghana.
Oh, okay.
Right. And, it's a private school because the government didn't build it. And essentially he's trying to figure out ways to actually fund the school because, the kids need money for, books and uniforms and so forth. So a few years ago, he worked out a deal with the government in Ghana where he gave them $1.2 million that was supposed to be put in Eurobonds. And then the interest from those Eurobonds is supposed to pay for the school upkeep every year.
Right.
That money was allegedly used to pay off debts in Ghana. And he still has not seen this money to this day. And this was brought up in my last interview with Michael. And it's now become the biggest news in Ghana. It's all over TV. It's all over the news. It's all over social media.
Yeah.
So you being a chief in Ghana, I need you to get him his $1.2 million back.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Okay, I mean, I'm going to eat, then get his 1.2 back.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll work on that. But, let me, I believe, like, the president, there's a new president there.
Well, right. So this happened with the old president.
Right.
The new president is allegedly trying to work on him getting his money back.
Uh-huh.
But he still has not gotten it back. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can get Michael on. Wait.
Hey, man, what's happening?
Mike, man, I'm a fan, man.
Well, thank you
for everything you've done.
Oh, thank you, man. I feel embarrassed that I didn't know about the plight with the school and everything.
Yeah, man. That was the plan I had, But I mean, they recently made a post about, something with the bond, but it wasn't. I didn't think it really applied to my bond. I was just happy that he at least, the president made a comment about, helping those out with the bonds. And I think the bonds that he talked about was more of the local bonds. Mine was more of a Euro bonds. And the Euro bonds is in like euro or dollars or, or pounds. So I'm not sure if he was going to do anything about that one, at least at this moment.
Mm.
But I was happy he recently made a post about, kind of like getting people their money back on those local bonds.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I've been over the years. I've been doing things with the, for the education systems and trying to get the computers and things like that with the connections I have with the, I was a school teacher, so I have a lot of connections with the Board of Educations around. Man, I didn't know this. Man, anything I could do, we could.
Man, you're the chief of Ghana, man. Fix that shit.
Well.
Get him his 1.2 million back. You're a chief.
100% down. I mean, I had no idea. If you got hooked up with the Board of Education, I could use certain things. So let's exchange numbers. I mean, I could let you know what my school could use. And this is just a beginning. That was my whole plan, was like go to different villages across West Africa and try to help my way education. Just the first one I tried to do something with. Kind of like things went sour. So now I'm coming out of my pocket 100% to take care of it. And I'm not really that kind of person that's big on like nonprofit and beg. I never beg for money. I felt like, there's something I could have did on my own. But like, and I invested in 1.2 million. Hopefully that interest will help pay for the school. And then this happened, you know what I mean? So it kind of put a sour taste in my mouth, but I haven't given up. I'm trying to build a relationship with the new guy.
Yeah.
I'm very close with his son. He has 2 boys. His 2 oldest son, they're fans of my work, and we talked a lot. And when I get back home, I'm gonna be going back for the Independence March. Actually, next week, sometime early March. And Independence is on the 6th, so I'm gonna actually march with my kids. Because Independence, every school get together and they march for the country.
Yeah.
So I'll be there for that, and then I would try to meet up with the president and find out what they're going to do about the Euro bonds. Like right now, I know they're doing stuff on the local bonds, But I haven't given up my country or my continent. I'm still going to fight for that money to make sure it's released, or at least pay me what it was originally agreed upon. But I had no idea you was involved with Ghana in education. I didn't know you was a teacher. That's dope.
Yeah, bro. We definitely need to talk because I mean, the Berlin festival just completed, and I'm going to be talking to a lot of there's some entities from South Africa and across the diaspora that I'm doing business with. And I'm trying to build a bridge between, that continent and ours, and utilizing talent between us, so we can continue to, make things. We can do the things without asking. we can ask ourselves for these projects. So yeah, we'll let's try to work together, man. Like, cause it's a cool new day. So I never want to talk about that. And I don't know, to some of this, maybe I don't want, broadcasted, but we will talk, and
Okay.
but it's good to know, and I'd love to do whatever I can to help.
And I appreciate that, man. Thank you for coming back home, and thank you for everything you're doing for the country and the continent, man. That hopefully this open the eyes of other entertainers, and we can all notice why we're homies and go back and help make Africa a much better place than it already is right now.
Yeah. All right, brother. All right, good talking to you, and be safe.
My pleasure.
All right.
Okay.
It's a trip how much I don't. No, I didn't. I knew he was from the continent. I didn't know he was from Ghana.
Yeah. Born and raised in Ghana.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I thought you being a chief and all, you could just kind of cough up that money yourself. But clearly you're being stingy.
Yeah,
you're just trying to build your gold palace out there. And so forth.
That's me. You know me.
Well, that's what it is, man. Always a pleasure when you come in. And I just want to say that, over these past few months, I've been going through a very difficult time personally. And you really showed that you're a true friend based on your actions and, how we've been interacting over the last couple of months. People like to say that in the industry, you just have industry friends, that you don't have real friends, you don't have real relationships. People are just only there because they can get something out of you, or there's some projects that they could ultimately profit from. But you've shown that that's not who you are. You're not an industry friend. You're an actual real friend. And I truly appreciate our relationship outside of what we do here.
Well, bro, man, I consider friendship above a lot. And, I wasn't close to family. My friends are like family to me, and I would do anything for them. And it's not something that I choose. It's something for me from the heart. And you're a friend, you're a friend. You're family to me. And, that's why I'm here. Simply. I don't think about anything other than, it's just like, you're my friend and I'm going to do whatever. And that, but I got to say, it has been magnificent coming in here, and I've received a great deal because there's so many people that stop me and they thank me for these posts and my perspective. And so, I was coming from a place of, I don't want people to know my business and whatever. But man, I'm telling you, it's enhanced so many people. I have so much deep dialogue with people that say, man, thank you for saying this in your perspective. I recognize, and we have real good dialogue. And I've actually gotten, I think I might have mentioned before, The Island, the movie The Island, the producer, who was out of France, watched my interviews on this show and created the script based on what he saw.
Really? A whole movie was built off of Vlad TV interviews.
He got into insight to, he felt like he understood me, created this script. And when I got the script from Philippe Martinez, and I was like, wait, yeah. And I read this and I was like, well, this sounds like me and my wife, like could be in, and then to find out in accepting the role is like, no, he wrote that. He had that written and financed. And he told me one-on-one, he's like, I watched your interviews on Vlad.
Wow.
And that's
you're
where
starring
I based
in
the
that.
character.
You're starring in that film.
I starred in that film.
Yeah, exactly.
You can watch that film.
Yeah, no, it's out.
Yeah. So
with your wife as well.
With my wife. Yeah. And so not only do people stop me, and a lot of times I think it's about like some kind of role or whatever. No, it's about, I saw you on Vlad. And so people, there's haters out there that want, who just love negativity.
Stop doing Vlad TV interviews.
Yeah. Like, oh,
he's the enemy.
I actually read something, and some dude was like, you asked about, what should I ask Michael Jai White? And some jackass wrote, like, I can't stand him. He in fact, he's the least favorite of, like, some dumb shit. Like, it's like, why would you spend your time, respond to an ask of what should we ask, and you want to expound on how much you don't like me, and you're spending your time writing how much you don't like me. That's the dumbest shit ever. Do you go to the supermarket and hate on the shit you don't like and say, I can't stand this? You go out of your way.
I hate this grapefruit.
I hate this grapefruit.
Fuck you, grapefruit.
I can't find an equivalent stupidity for that. But but for all the people who stop me and say, man, thank you, and which is a lot more than any guy named Johan 123. Thank you, because I do this for my friend, but I do this for you now, because I guess people are getting nurtured from it and they get something from that, and that's what we do, man. That's the height of what we do. If we can make other people's lives, happier or provide some insight, that's our highest form. So thank you all.
That's what it is. Yeah. Until next time. Peace.